Welcome back to the Quarterly Call. Today, we're diving into the world of robotic surgery,
All right.
specifically Intuitive Surgical's performance in Q3 of 2024.
Okay.
You know those Da Vinci surgical systems?
Right.
The ones giving surgeons a high-tech helping hand?
Yeah.
We're about to break down their latest earnings call and see what's got everyone buzzing. Ready to scrub in?
Let's do it.
Let's get started. Joining us is expert speaker who can spot a trend in a balance sheet faster than you could say minimally invasive.
It's a gift, I guess.
What's the headline news from Intuitive this quarter? What should we be paying attention to?
Well, for those who may not be familiar, Intuitive Surgical is pretty much the leading name when it comes to robotic surgery. They hold a huge market share, and this quarter really solidifies their position.
Okay, so they're already a big deal.
Yeah.
But what's driving that? Did they sell a ton of new systems, or are surgeons just using the ones they already have more often?
It's actually both.
Oh, wow.
They installed 379 new Da Vinci systems this quarter alone. To put that into perspective, that's like equipping a whole new hospital every few days with these cutting-edge robots.
Wow.
But what's really interesting is the 18% jump in Da Vinci procedures performed year over year.
Okay.
Surgeons aren't just adopting the technology, they're clearly finding more and more uses for it.
That makes sense. The more comfortable surgeons become with the technology, the more they'll explore its potential in different procedures.
Absolutely.
But before we get into that, let's talk numbers.
Okay.
How did all of this translate financially for Intuitive Surgical this quarter?
Their total revenue hit $2.04 billion this quarter,
Okay.
a 17% increase compared to the same time last year.
Wow.
That's fueled by both the sales of those new systems and, importantly, the recurring revenue from instruments and accessories.
Right.
Think of it like this. Every procedure means more specialized tools and disposables, which adds up quickly.
Right, like the razor and blades model sell the system, and the real money comes from the ongoing use.
Precisely.
But digging deeper into those system sales, I noticed they moved 110 Da Vinci 5 systems this quarter.
Right.
That's their newest model, the one everyone's been excited about, right?
Yes.
What's the big deal with the Da Vinci 5?
The Da Vinci 5 is designed to be even more precise and intuitive for surgeons, with better visualization and more ergonomic controls.
Okay.
The fact that they've already installed so many, especially in competitive markets like the US, shows that surgeons are really buying into the upgrades.
It's interesting how that works.
Yeah.
The technology itself is constantly evolving, but so is the way surgeons are incorporating it into their practice.
Yeah.
So it's not just about selling robots, it's about staying ahead of the curve and anticipating the future needs of surgeons.
Yeah.
Now, what about the rest of the world?
Mm-hmm.
How's Intuitive Surgical performing beyond the U.S. market?
That's where things get even more interesting.
Yeah.
They're seeing particularly strong growth in the UK and India.
Okay.
And while they're doing well in established markets like Japan and throughout Europe, Asia's proving to be a bit more of a mixed bag.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's going on in Asia that's making it such a different story? I always think of that region as being on the cutting edge of technology adoption.
It is, but there are some unique factors at play.
Okay.
In South Korea, a physician's strike has impacted procedure volumes,
Right.
which is understandable.
Yeah.
But China is a different story.
Okay.
They're seeing slower procedure growth there compared to their global average.
That's surprising, especially considering China's typically rapid adoption of new technology.
Right.
What's behind that slower growth, and how is Intuitive Surgical addressing it?
It seems to be a combination of factors.
Yeah.
First, the placement of new systems.
Okay.
Meaning how many hospitals are actually buying them. Hasn't been as aggressive in China.
Okay.
And second, they're seeing increased competition from local Chinese robotic surgery companies.
Oh, interesting.
So while the market potential is huge, Intuitive Surgical will need to adjust its strategy to compete effectively in that landscape.
It's a good reminder that even for a global leader, cracking the code in different markets requires a nuanced approach.
Absolutely.
You can't just replicate what works elsewhere.
Right.
Now, with all this talk about growth and expansion,
Yeah.
I'm curious, what's next for Intuitive Surgical? Do they give us a glimpse into the future during their earnings call? What's on the horizon?
They did, and it sounds like they have some big plans.
Okay.
Firstly, they're making significant strides in getting regulatory approvals for the Da Vinci 5 system globally.
Great.
They've already submitted the necessary paperwork in Europe,
Excellent.
received clearance in South Korea just last month,
Wow.
and are in the thick of the approval process in Japan.
That's a good sign, right? Getting the green light in those markets is essential for broader adoption of the Da Vinci 5.
Exactly.
It sounds like they're aiming for a truly global launch.
Absolutely. They're anticipating a full-scale global launch of the Da Vinci 5 by mid-2025.
So by mid-2025, we could be seeing the Da Vinci 5 become the gold standard in robotic surgery worldwide.
Yeah,
That's a pretty clear signal of where they're headed.
it is. Yeah.
And it's not just about geographic expansion.
Right.
They're also laser focused on using data to drive the future of surgery.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. They mentioned something about intuitive hub and case insights.
Okay.
Can you unpack those for us? They sound like something straight out of a sci-fi medical drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where every surgery performed with a Da Vinci system
Okay.
feeds into a giant database.
Okay.
That's essentially what Intuitive Hub is.
Yeah.
It allows hospitals to connect their systems,
Hmm.
track usage patterns,
Right.
and collect valuable data on how these robots are being utilized.
So it's like taking the pulse of the operating room in real time.
Exactly.
What kind of insights can they glean from all that data?
A ton. Think about it. They're sitting on a treasure trove of information from thousands of procedures.
Right.
By analyzing that data,
Yeah.
they can identify areas where surgical techniques can be standardized
Mhm.
or improved, potentially leading to better outcomes and shorter recovery times.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like using data to fine-tune surgery itself.
It is.
But data collection always comes with concerns about privacy.
Of course.
Did Intuitive Surgical address how they're handling that sensitive patient information?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
They emphasize their commitment to adhering to strict data privacy regulations and industry best practices.
Okay.
They're de-identifying patient information and using robust cybersecurity measures to protect that data.
That's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
It's crucial that they're transparent and proactive about those concerns.
Absolutely.
Now, beyond data analytics, are they cooking up any other cool gadgets or innovations in their R&D labs?
They are. They're pouring significant resources into research and development.
Great.
One exciting development is the Da Vinci SP system.
SP. What's so special about this one?
The SP stands for single port.
Okay.
It's specifically designed for surgeries that require access through a single small incision. This can mean even less scarring, faster recovery times, and less pain for patients.
That sounds like a game changer for certain procedures.
It is.
Where does the SP system stand in terms of its rollout?
It's already showing strong performance in South Korea
Okay.
and gaining traction in Europe and Japan.
Okay.
They're also working on getting broader clearance for its use in the U.S.
Okay.
In fact, they recently submitted an application to the FDA for colorectal procedures.
So they're strategically expanding its use globally.
Yeah.
It's impressive how they're simultaneously innovating on multiple fronts, from new systems like the SP and the Da Vinci 5 to data-driven tools like Intuitive Hub.
It is.
It's a testament to their commitment to staying at the forefront of robotic surgery.
Yeah.
But they're not stopping there.
Right.
They're also constantly refining their existing instruments and tools.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed they mentioned a new stapler they received clearance for.
Yes.
What's the story with that?
Yes. The 8mm Sureform 30 stapler. It's a big deal for surgeons operating in tight spaces, like during thoracic or kidney procedures.
So smaller is better in this case.
Exactly.
Right.
The smaller diameter allows for better visualization and access to tissue in those delicate areas.
Right.
It's all about giving surgeons the tools they need to perform at their best.
And it sounds like they're also making waves with their Ion Endoluminal System.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about that technology?
The Ion system is designed specifically for lung biopsies, a procedure that traditionally carried some risks.
Right.
It allows for minimally invasive biopsies of suspicious lung nodules with a high degree of accuracy.
That's impressive. Early detection is key for treating lung cancer. So a safer and more precise biopsy method is a huge step forward.
It is.
How widely available is the Ion system now?
They've already placed over 700 Ion systems globally,
Wow.
and physicians have used them to perform over 150,000 lung biopsies.
Wow.
That's a testament to how quickly it's being adopted.
Wow, those numbers speak for themselves. Are they planning to expand the Ion system's use beyond lung biopsies?
They are.
Okay.
They're actively pursuing additional clinical applications for the Ion system and are working on expanding its availability in Europe and China.
It sounds like Intuitive Surgical is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
They've got new systems rolling out. They're harnessing the power of data. They're developing specialized instruments, and they're constantly expanding the applications of their existing technology.
Right.
It's no wonder they're the leaders in this space.
Mm-hmm.
But all this innovation and expansion has to be supported by solid financials, right?
Of
What's
course.
their financial picture looking like?
Well, they're in a very strong position.
Okay.
They're profitable.
Mm.
Their operating income has increased year over year.
Okay.
And they ended the quarter with over $8 billion in cash and investments.
$8 billion.
It's a lot of money.
That's a comfortable cushion to have.
It is.
It gives them the flexibility to invest heavily in research and development, pursue strategic acquisitions,
Mm-hmm.
and weather any potential storms in the market.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap things up with some final thoughts,
Okay.
we highly recommend you to listen to our previous episodes on Netflix, TSMC, ASML, and more.
You can find those episodes wherever you're listening to this one.
Now, as we delve into the implications of all this, for you, the listener, here's something to consider. As we've been exploring, Intuitive Surgical is really pushing the boundaries of what's possible in surgery, and they're doing it while maintaining a really solid financial footing.
Yeah.
But for you listening, what does all this mean? It's easy to get caught up in the numbers and the tech specs, but at the end of the day, this is about impacting lives.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about patients.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line, improving outcomes for patients.
Right.
So yeah, less pain, faster recovery times.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is.
That's what makes this so compelling, the intersection of cutting-edge technology and real-world impact.
Mm.
It's like witnessing the future of surgery unfold in real time.
Absolutely. And speaking of the future of surgery, one thing that's going to become increasingly important is AI, artificial intelligence.
Oh, right. Of course, AI. We
Yeah.
see it everywhere else. It's only natural it's going to revolutionize this field, too.
Exactly.
So how do you think that's going to play out? What's that going to look like?
Well, they're already starting to integrate AI into their systems.
Okay.
For example, imagine a world where AI can analyze a surgeon's movements in real time, providing subtle guidance and minimizing the potential for error.
Wow, so it's like having a super intelligent assistant in the operating room,
Exactly.
constantly learning and adapting to assist the surgeon.
Exactly. And that has the potential to really improve outcomes even further.
That's incredible to think about where this technology could lead.
It is. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting, but I also imagine, like anything this powerful, it probably comes with.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. There are a lot of considerations.
Yeah.
You know, we need to think about the ethical implications.
Right. How do we ensure transparency and accountability in these AI-powered systems? How do we balance the role of the surgeon's expertise with the insights provided by AI?
That's a good point.
Yeah. These are all questions we need to be thinking about as we move forward.
Yeah, and I'm sure as the technology evolves even more, more questions will come up. So
Absolutely.
it's a fascinating dilemma, but one that underscores the profound impact this technology is having on healthcare.
Mm.
It's not just about making surgery faster or more efficient.
Well,
It's about fundamentally changing how we approach patient care.
absolutely.
Well, this has been incredibly fascinating.
It has.
I always love, getting to peek behind the curtain and see what these companies are doing,
Yeah, me too.
especially a company like Intuitive Surgical that's really at the forefront of something that really has the power to change the world. So
It does.
thanks to everyone out there for listening.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll be back next time with another deep dive.